Hey everyone, welcome back to the stream again. And today is Friday, so last day of the week. And so sorry if you're working on Saturday, Sunday. So let's go ahead and get started. Last time we wanted to actually show the cart information, so I was able to solve that issue by using some of the map and filter operator. So you see, I'm returning this product array, and I had to actually flat this array because I was getting uh, you can see if I change this, I was getting this like product array. So I was getting multidimensional array. So I decided to flat it. So I get like array of product. So this is one thing which I did offline, right? And then let's go ahead and see how the product looks like right now. And yeah, I hope you're able to hear me as well. So let's see. We'll log in again. I think I just did this one, so it remembers the username and password. Let's go to view cart and sorry, view cart, and what happened here? Yeah, so our products are like both the products are visible in the cart, and then we can fix this delete product functionality. And before that, I'll just remove this commented code which we have, and then we will introduce the circular dependency which we were talking about, right? So, and we'll see how we can avoid that circular dependency by refactoring some code. So let's go back to the cart and remove this comments here. So our UI looks clean, nothing more than that. So we got product. Okay, I have to disable this. 1 second. So let me see, where is the one password? Yeah, disable, remove from. Yeah, so it will not bother us again. View cart, and this is the information, right? So we have products, name, email, phone number, address, and then we can add one button here called checkout. But before that, we have to do one more thing. We have to go ahead and fix this. We have to build the functionality around add to cart. So once we click on add to cart, we should see this product in this cart information. So let's go ahead and do that. And as we saw, like this add to cart button exists on the product, and it should dispatch an action which exists in cart. But if you see, we already have product being used inside the cart. So if we do this, let's see what happens, right? So I'll go to store. Let me just close all this, and I'll go to cart action. So we added this load by cart, add product to cart, right? So this is the action which we added last time, and we wanted to build the reducer, if I'm not wrong, around this. Let's see, add product to cart. Okay, we also did this, right? So we said, okay, we will add this product inside the product details. And I think we were struggling here a little bit. I changed some of the code to do that because it was either undefined or like the product. So I had to change some of the metadata. So if you go to cart, you see, I mean, I have removed the optional properties here. That's why it stopped complaining about it. So it's it's the simple code, right? So we have current cart, and then we are adding the new product into our product details array. That's what we will be doing. And then we have to dispatch this action. It means I have to go ahead and call add product to cart from add to product button, which exists here in product. So let's go here, and this is where we have to dispatch. So we have to import the action, right? So I have to say import from org/cart, and this will be our Okay, what was the action again? Cart, cart actions. So we are not probably not exporting it. Yeah, we are not exporting it. So we have to export lib store and cart action. Okay, so as soon as we export, we get the access, and now we can actually just go ahead and say, okay, give me cart action and the for add to product, add to cart, we will dispatch this action called cart actions dot add to cart, and we pass this product. So perfect. The code is done. Let's go ahead and verify this on product login. So here it is. We click on we let's verify the cart. So this is how our cart looks like. Let's click on add to cart. Intermediate value is not iterable. Okay, so we are getting some error on the reducer. So here it says add product to cart. Let's see cart reducer. Probably still has some issue. Libs cart store and the reducer. So this will be the action which will handle this. And let's click on add to cart just to see if okay, it's not right. It's not actually coming here at product to cart. Let's see what's wrong. So dispatch, add to product, add product to cart, add product to cart, and then we are passing product. And what else? And this, okay. So we have to also do one thing, right? So as we have moved, now we are calling the cart action inside the product. We have to see where actually this cart reducer is registered because we have to like take the state one level up. Let's see. Uh, we have reducer. I think we are using the feature. So not this one, but this user cart feature. And we are actually registering it on cart. So, okay, this state is something uh, which is not visible to others. So what we will do is we will just move this and let's take it one level up. So once users are logged in, I would define it here. So I can say, okay, just provide this here and move this. And do we need effects for this one? No, I think it's okay. And let's see if it works. So now as soon as product is defined, the cart state will be available as well. Right. So console, let's see, add to cart. And you see there is no exception here. Let's verify the cart, but it's not even here. So what is happening? So let's go ahead and verify it from Redux DevTools, right? So we can always go ahead and see if this is like working properly or not. Hmm. So here add to cart. Okay, cool. So we can see there are actions which are dispatched. Add to cart. And let's see here in cart, current cart, and the cart was empty because nothing was loaded, right? So what we have to do is we have to also make sure we load the cart as soon as user logs in. Hey, hey, fun. Hey, thanks for joining. So we have to also take like initialize the cart as soon as we log in. So what we can do is, in case user has some existing cart, we can actually just update or load the cart and then update our store. In case there is nothing inside cart, we can push the values. And this is what probably going wrong here, because we have not taken into consideration. Hey, code Angel, thanks for joining. Hey, Pankaj. So, yep, we are not taking into consideration what happens in case there is nothing in the cart. The cart is empty. So that's where probably it's breaking right now. Let's go ahead and see what we can do to fix it. But the first thing which we can do is we can actually load cart once the user is logged in. So I'll just remove this and go back to our users where we are doing login. So here login, and then we said login component. I think we already have some action dispatched here, right? So we are loading the profile. We can also load the cart, and here we have cart information available as soon as we log in. Let's see, and then we can at least verify if the add to cart functionality works, and then we can fix it. Right. So we can take care of the scenario where there is cart, but there's nothing in the cart. This basically it's empty. So here we are logged in, cart, current cart. So we have some information here now. So current cart, products, and then user ID. And if I click here, then what is that? Cart ID, cart by ID success. Okay, so we are reloading the cart. It's okay. And what we wanted is, let's see the state at this point, because we also have product information in the cart, current cart, products, and okay, so that's something which is reducer. Okay, so yeah, I think that's something which we also did was incorrect, because if you see here, I mean, let's go back to the cart and let's discuss what we did was wrong. So here, actually, I wanted to update this information into the state. So this information is actually available, but I'm not doing that. So what in other way, how we can handle this is, rather than actually adding, let's go back to the cart, add to cart functionality, reducer. So here, rather than actually adding into product details, what we can do is we can actually say just push into the products. So we can say, hey, this what we can push is the ID of the product, right? And quantity. So this is what we can push. And let's see what's wrong here. So it says array of so product ID and number of arrays not assignable to type this. Okay, I know what is the issue. So here we can actually rather than doing this, we can actually create an interface. It's card product. Let's name this card as card product. And we have product ID and number. And rather than actually doing this now, we can say this. What is that? Card. We actually wanted to use this not here, but in the card. So this is card product, and we don't get this any issue anymore. Card product array. Do this, and here now we have card and current cart is type of cart. Okay. So now we have products, which is type of array. And if you see this, it should work now because it will say, okay, this is type of cart product. I don't have any issue with this. And it works. Pankaj, yeah, we are actually continuing with the cart, and then we will also introduce circular dependency to see how we can actually handle that and how NX actually takes care of it and how we can probably fix that circular dependency issues as well. Because once you work on large enterprises, this is one of the common issue which you will get, that there will be circular dependencies, right? And select current cart. What is the problem here now? Cannot read properties of undefined current cart. Yeah, I mean, okay, we have to log in first. So let's see. We are logged in. This, let's go back to view cart, and this works as expected, right? So we don't have any errors. And why? Okay, I'll just clear this. Let's go back to product. Let's verify the add to cart functionality. To that, I'll go to Redux, right? So we see all the actions which is dispatched here. Let's click on add to cart and let's go to cart and see if we have one more product here. Yes, we do, right? So we have product ID 1 again. Let's add something else. Add to cart. Let's see. We have product ID 6 available here. Let's go back to view cart. And we saw, okay, so I think there was a time we saw 4 products, and then because we called load cart by ID again. So let's go back to cart and remove this call now, because otherwise it will reset the store. So cart component .html, no, sorry, .ts, and let's remove this. And here we have some public property cart of dollar exported class has or is using name cart product from external module. I mean, let's go back, log in. Yep, let's add few products. Add to cart, add to cart. Let's view cart, and then you have all the four products, right? So the newly added products are available in the cart. What we can do is we can also have like in case user adds similar product 2 times. Right now this is not handled here. Let's go back and see. So we can click on this multiple times and it will be like shown multiple times here, but we can actually group them and show it like into X, right? The quantity. So if you see, some of the information, like some of the data has quantity here, so 2. So rather than actually adding the same product like multiple times, we can probably just increase the quantity. That's what we can take care of in the cart, right? But yeah, let's move ahead and see the circular dependency issue which we have introduced now. Because what we did is we actually imported product into cart and cart into product. So it will cause circular dependency here. And to verify the issue, we will go ahead and run yarn nx graph. And let's click on show all projects. And here we can see we have actually introduced multiple circular dependencies now. So cart is using product. So it says, okay, hey, product is actually importing cart component, product list component. No, so yeah. Yeah, so these are 4 files which are dependent on product, and then here you see product component.ts is also like product to cart. So this is like causing circular dependencies. Here also in user, you can see login component and cart, which is causing the circular dependencies here. So how we can actually avoid this? How we can like at first place not be in this situation? It is hard, right? I mean, it's, of course, development is hard, and you cannot concentrate on everything when you are developing. So this is where NX graph is, of course, comes into the picture. You can see, okay, this is clearly a circular dependency issue here. But we can also do one more thing. What in case when you run lint, you also get this error? So NX has a rule. So NX has this NX module boundaries. This is the rule. And we can define the constants here. We can say, hey, this application should only depend on this libraries. Even you can define within library also that this should only depend on this and this library. So it should not break the boundaries. Let's run the lint as of now and see what happens if we have any error. So we'll run it for workspace because everything is, of course, at the end is used inside the workspace, right? So let's see the output. Hmm, interesting. So we have some errors here. So let's see the first error. It says import of lazy loaded boundaries are forbidden. Then we are getting some into our routes, and there are uh, nothing related to our library. Let's run it for library as well because let's it actually just did it for this, but we can also run yarn annex and hyphen target equals to lint. We saw like we discussed about the affected command last time, right? So it will run the lint for all the projects which are affected, and let's see the errors. Okay, so bunch of errors. Right. So far, it executed 3 projects, and now 2 is remaining, and most of them are getting failed. And this is where actually NX is really helpful to tell you that, hey, you are doing something wrong. So here we can see login component.ts has circular dependency. So it clearly mentions where the circular dependency is. Even you don't have to open the NX graph. You have to just make sure that you are running the linter on your CI pipeline, because as a developer, we generally don't think about these scenarios, right? There can be a circular dependency, but once you push your code on CI should be able to like handle or capture all these errors. That's why the linters exist. So either you run it manually before you push your code, or you make sure that you are doing it on the CI. So what has gone wrong is, of course, in login component, it is saying that, hey, you are actually using some cart information here, but in cart also you are using something from login, which is causing circular dependencies. And it also gives you the files. So you can see it is giving me the files which is causing circular dependencies. Same for product. So here also it is saying, hey, you are making a mistake. You are making a circular dependency between cart and product. So this is what I meant when I said, let's introduce the circular dependencies. How we can handle it? Multiple ways. You can actually go ahead and fix your code, make sure you structure it properly, or you can just push the state. Like you can actually remove the common parts into a separate library and use it there. So you don't have the circular dependency issues as well. Because if you see, I mean, even if I just uh, avoid all the circular dependency, I will still end up with one error, which is in our workspace. So if you see this project, it is saying that imports of lazy loaded libraries are forbidden. What it is saying is we actually have, let's open the app config, right? So apps app config.ts. Here we are loading something from user categories, and yeah, these are 2, right? But if you see this, actually they are lazy loaded route. So product, cart, user, they are actually lazy loaded route. So generally you should not import anything directly from them. And to do this, I mean, you can follow multiple things. Of course, you can move out the reusable part into a separate library and move the component with like For example, for user, we are using profile component. So what we can do is we can split them into separate libraries. We can say, hey, uh, all the components are actually one library and the store is another library. So what you will do is you can still import store into your user as well as app, and it will never complain about it, because it's like one way communication, right? So it's just going one way, and it's not uh, being exported from a lazy loaded module. So that's one way. But here we are into another issue, that we have stores which are being used with each other. So even though we like split the store into a separate library, it will not solve the main issue. We'll be still into an we'll still get this error, which is the last one, right? No, sorry. We'll still get the circular dependency between product and cart. This issue will be solved once we move the store out, like we create another library for store. So what we can do is we can put the stores here, whatever store which we have defined so far, into a separate library. So what will happen is, in case they want to refer to each other, they can still go ahead and do that. And from that library, we can export or import it into product, cart, user, wherever we want to. So let's go ahead and do that, right? So let's see how we, and you can think of a different scenario. In your case, it's not like you should go and follow what I have done. I'm into a specific scenario where actually I have multiple stores where they are referring to each other. But in case you just have the store which is causing this issue, you can just split your store into a separate library. So how we can do that? Let's go ahead and create a new library. So I'll say next generate new library, and what I can name it as, let's name it as common store. So, and then we move all the store information or store related code here. Great. So generate, hmm. So, I mean, the point of actually covering this is because you will find many, probably many tutorials which talks about circular dependencies, but how they are introduced, generally no one talks about it. So now you know, like, what are the scenarios where you can actually come into this scenario where you introduce circular dependencies by mistake. And let's move the stores. So category is okay. We don't have to do anything. So this one, and what we can do is, rather than actually creating a separate store folder, we can actually rename it. Let's move this, because we are already inside lib, so we don't have to do this. What to do? No. And here I can name this as, this was cart, right? So we can export like store slash cart, cart, and then where we have another folder, we not inside cart but inside lib, and let's say we call it as product, and the last one is user, right? So user, hmm. So let's move the product cart here, product store, sorry, and I have this outside, so I'll just move them as well into the store folder, and let's move them to product. And okay, no, and I have to just move them into product, not the store. So I'll just delete the store folder. Hmm. Now, Of course, we have to fix some of these this inputs. Let's see, because here, if you see, we had this org/product. Now we can just say dot/product, and in product we need product interface. Same here, we had this user interface coming from user. So what we will do is we will import the user related information here. We'll do that, but let's fix the other imports in case we have anything from product. Not here. Here it's okay. There's nothing from product. Reducer, was there anything here? No, nothing. Selector, I think we had something from product, so we can just remove it. So I can say hey dot/product, and then we can say product it. And this is done. Service, we had nothing. Same, let's go back to product. Product had in nothing from here. Product service. Now we can actually just say dot/product service. Selectors, I think it's nothing there. Um, State, we I think took something. No, nothing else. Here, it's fine. So now let's move the information from user. And this is something which we have to keep. I mean, I keep repeating this, that whenever you're doing refactoring, just don't be scared. And these are the things which you have to take into consideration, right? I mean, the code which you have written may cause some issues in future, and just don't be scared to touch them. Just be ready to refactor the code, and there will be errors if you like. Right now I'm not serving the application, but once I serve it after changing all this, there will be a bunch of errors, and we'll see that. We'll tackle them. Login service, this is okay. I can just use this user related information which contains my interface as well. Where is the interface? I think it's inside action. No, user interface. Yeah, it's here. So I'll just move all this user related states into common store user. So now just think like how we resolve this circular dependency. So we moved all the files which are related on each other into a same library. So now they can actually relate or import from each other like without causing any circular dependency. So this is the advantage, and this is okay. Service is okay. And let's go back to card, because there was one place where we were using user. So here we'll just say dot/user, and we need user interface. And now let's serve the application. As I said, we are going to get bunch of errors, like many errors, and then we'll see what we can do about them. So serve workspace, and let's see. And meanwhile, it is getting compiled. Just a shameless plug. I had posted one open source guide few weeks ago, and we actually updated some part of it. So now you can actually go ahead and read it again. It's We made some adjustments based on the input provided by GitHub Security Labs, or GitHub Security Labs. They We did collaboration, GitHub Security Lab and Joseph, who wrote some of the content, the updated content. You can also learn how you can actually contribute to open source by contributing to a game, a secure coding game by GitHub. So if you think you are someone who is very good into security or writing secure code, just go ahead and give it a try. The blog post is available on my website, or my, and this is the first link which is available here. And it has all the information, like how you can contribute to security, front end, back end, whatever you want to learn, design. So everything is here. So yeah, give it a read and give me a feedback in case you think something is missing. Some information like about how to contribute to DevOps, unfortunately that's not there. Yeah. So let's see. Now we have a bunch of errors, and believe me, I mean, if I was a developer in early in my career, I would just like leave this refactor and I'll run away, because of course after seeing so many errors, anyone will be scared. But this is where you have to now start reading errors more. You have to think that, okay, I mean, if there is an error, it is actually written here that what is wrong. So it says, hey, just let's start, let's read from the start, right? So it says, hey, in appconfig.ts you have an import with org user, but this does not exist. This two file does not exist because they are moved. So they are moved into another library, right? So we have common slash store, and let's let's export all this so we can fix all these errors. So first we have to make sure that we are exporting everything which is it's used outside. Let's go back to export the index.ts file. We can say, hey, this is lib, and from lib I want cart. What we need from cart is action, because action is something which will be used outside. What else will be used outside is effects, right? And the store. And then what we have is reducer, and what else? Selector. We don't need to export service because that's something which we don't use. And action, effects, reducer, selector, and service. And then we can export our related to product, right? So we can say, hey, this is lib dot slash lib slash product. And then again, from product, what we need is action. We need effects. We need reducer. Reducer is not something which we have because we removed it. We have state, product dot state, and is this module already has exported member initial state. Yeah, this is another thing. Yeah, this is cool because we are also exporting this initial state, which is not, we don't need to, right? So we don't need to actually export this initial state because no one is actually going to use it outside until unless you want it to be. So let's avoid exporting this. We can just say initial data, which is used here. And this is one of the drawback of naming the variable with a similar name. So once you start exporting them, this causes an issue. So we have action, effects, state. We don't have state. I think we have reducer. Reducer dot. Yeah, we do have state, but again, it will complain about that we already have state, initial state as exported member. So let's remove this. And what else? It says, okay, this is another issue, right? So we renamed it and then we forgot to change this to user reducer rather than calling it as, sorry, rather than calling it as user reducer, we just kept it as product reducer. So again, copy paste, but with keep some things in mind that you don't need to duplicate all these things. I mean, you should not rename the variables with the same name. And now we can go back to our config, and here we can say, hey, I have org slash common store, and this error is gone. So let's see other places, right? So we have app route here again. So you can see we have org slash card. So we can change this to org slash common store, and we can also move all this into this store, this import. So you can see we are also reducing the number of imports we have, but that was never the concern. I mean, the main concern was, of course, we had circular dependencies and bunch of module boundaries errors, which we wanted to avoid. And that's what we are doing. That's what we are fixing right now. So Here we have user interface, which is available in store. We can remove this, and then here, rather than exporting, or sorry, importing from this, we can say, hey, this is org/common store. And we need user interface. So let's go ahead and get that as well. Let's export. So user dot interface. So we can something wrong, right? So this dot user service dot get user. Here. So we had user service as well, which we can change, and let's revisit the files. So we took care of profile. Let's go back to login.ts. Let's see, there are some imports here. Yes, it is cart action. And somehow we had this import, this is not the relative path, right? So, sorry, this is a relative path, and it should not have this relative paths. User actions. I mean, even for this line, you will get an linting error. That's the cool thing about this NX boundary rule. So because this is something which you don't introduce intentionally. This is the fault of your Visual Studio actually, because Visual Studio adds all these imports and it gives you suggestion that, okay, uh, should I add this import which exists at some other folder? Because remember, if you think about this, imports, they actually understand your file system, right? So they don't understand that this is a project or this is something else. They give you both option basically. They give you the relative path and they also give you the virtual path which you have defined. So basically in TS config, you define all the paths here. So VS Code actually gives you both options. So you have to be really careful what you are selecting. Never go with the relative path. And with NX, even if you go wrong, NX will take care of you. So here, login service. Let's see if you're using anything here. No. Let's go to product. Let's fix the product component as well, because there are some bunch of imports which will fail now. So we can actually change this. org common store. Same with feature. Let's do it. Okay, we are changing it to another place. Here. So we have to add it. Let's add this and this as well. So I'm not sure if we are exporting. No, we are not exporting product. So we'll do that. Let's remove all this unused imports first, and let's go back and add the product interface as well. So here, product dot, I think that's the name, product/product. We can probably attach interface as the name, but it's okay. So product is done, user is done, and the next one is cart. So let's take care of the cart src. And here also we have a bunch of imports which is getting failed. Create action, cart action, which we don't want to use now. Select cart, select current cart. This is something which is not needed. So select org common store, and then we also need this one, product. Let's remove this and product list. We don't have anything here. Yep, we do. We just needed the type common store, and looks perfect to me. Let's clear the console and run the serve. Linux serve. We did the entire refactor, and now we are back and see if it works. And somehow there are 60 files, but most of them are just files which are moved. So we still have few places where it is left. Of course, we have index.ts files where we need to remove them. Remove. Same for product and user. Here we don't have product, don't have effect, we don't have state. Same goes to user. And then we have to change the routes. If you remember, we have here, on. Let's go back to our routes. I think we already changed it, but just to verify, app routes, and yes, we did. And let's run. Okay, card selector has user feature. Let's see this card common src lib card selector. Okay, so I'll just change this dot user, and it's from user state. We are getting this and save. Anything else? Property address does not exist on type. So it says lib card.html. Let's see what's wrong there. Card.html, and this should be okay. Why it is complaining about this? User card selector. Exported variable has or is using name card product from external module. Card product. Where is card product? This one. But why it cares about it? And is, let's see. So let's serve and hope everything works fine now after all this refactor, and then we will verify our circular dependency errors, right? We will run the linter again. We will see the graph again. And I think there's one more place where it is left. So product service lib product service, and here store.product. So now it's just slash product, and yay, after all this refactor, we are back. Let's refresh. Right. So let's see our application. Let's log in, and let's view the cart. So there is nothing here right now. Let's add something to cart. View cart. Yep, there is one product which is added, and let's add more. Add to cart, and yep, there are a bunch of product which is available here. Maybe we have to go ahead and verify our load cart functionality, which may be broken after login, but so far so good. So we refactored everything. We are back. We are able to see the product information into cart, and main thing, right? So why we did all this refactor? Because we wanted to avoid the circular dependency. So run this affected target lint again. Let's see what happens. So executing 3. So by default, Angular, once you run the affected, NX will run 3 projects in parallel. So that's why it says executing 3 of 6. So there are still few errors. Let's see. I mean, but they don't look like circular dependency errors. You see, it says the lifecycle method should not be empty. The expected empty constructor. Same here, an expected empty method. But no circular dependency errors so far. So we actually reduced or removed all the circular dependency. Apart from this one, it says import of lazy loaded libraries are forbidden. Let's see which one. So line number 12 on app route product.ts. So app route.ts, line number 12. What is this? Auth guard. Yeah. So even auth guard is causing this module boundaries error. So what we can do is we can actually go ahead and move this guard into another library. And the best place is, of course, we can actually say, hey, just move it to the common store which we have. But let's run the NX graph now. Yarn sorry, graph. Show all projects, and so you can see the orders like is using from its own, product is using from own, user, there is no circular dependency, even there is no dependency between them. So orders, products, user, they are not related. They all are actually just accessing everything from the common store. You can see here. So cart, products, to user, they just use common store, and we don't have any circular dependency. We can also see like this category has direct dependency, and the current error which we are getting is because of this, the user, because we are actually importing the guard into this file approut.ts. And once we move the guard outside, we will even take care of this error, the error which we are getting on line number 12 here inside our routes. So that's up to you. I mean, in case you want to take care of it, probably just give it a try, to refactor this code. And I think we'll stop here. So because we learned how to introduce circular dependency, we saw how NX can stop us, how we can refactor the code to remove that circular dependency from our code base. And if you have large project, because of course this is something which many companies or many products which I have seen using NX, they do have circular dependency. What they generally do is they just disable it. So they just move it to warning or just turn it off. Don't do that. I would suggest take care of it like incrementally. I mean, I know you are using more features, but this is something which you should not avoid, because it will just increase your build times, and it will cause more headache than you can think of. Like in future, it becomes very hard once you want to like use some code, and then you will keep adding more circular dependencies. So have this turned on as soon as possible. We in at Celonis also we did some refactor. We made sure that this enforce model boundaries is set to error, so we can avoid the circular dependencies or even the unwanted dependencies between two apps. Because in our case, we have 25 different apps, and as I showed you, right? So VS Code can just add import any import, and there are cases where we have import from app 1 to app 2 and from app 2 to app 3, and which just increases the build time, because once app 1 is being built, it will also go ahead and build app 2. So it's just like, of course, you have 100 like thousands of lines of code, and then just your build is like running for 15-20 minutes, and you never know what is causing that. So have this turned on as soon as possible in your code base, and you got some idea how to do it. I also did a talk on migrating your uh, code base to NX. If you sorry, that was like for Angular, but it is actually applicable for everyone. Uh, if you are interested, just DM me. I'll share the blog post, and as well as if I can find the video if it is published online. And yeah, so that's it for the day. Have a very beautiful weekend. Enjoy with your family and friends, and see you again on Monday. See you. Bye bye. Bye, friend.